Okay, seeing that it's just after 6 p.m., I am going to start the wage and personnel meeting on November the 12th at approximately 6 p.m. Lorraine is zoomed in. She's not at the meeting tonight, but is here, and then physically at the meeting, but is here via Zoom. Tina's here as well, and Jennifer, our board secretary, is here. Couple of announcements. This meeting is being recorded by Zoom. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Items may be taken out of order at the discretion of the chair. The Wage and Personnel Board needs a third member to be appointed by the Finance Committee. If you are interested in joining the board, please contact the Finance Committee or the Board of Selectmen's office. That's very important for the simple reason that the only reason we could have this meeting tonight was if Lorraine would zoom in. So it is important for us to get a third member. That's the end of that. First thing will be updates from Tina Betty, our Human Resources Manager.
So our building commissioner, zoning enforcement officer is being appointed tonight.
Where'd they come from?
He is from 2 towns. He's the local inspector for 2 towns.
Oh, cool.
Local 2 towns.
Yeah.
And then he has a bunch of other experience as well. His start date won't be until December 9th because we have to have town meeting vote the position into wage and personnel. So hopefully all that goes well.
Good.
The director of elder affairs position, Board of Selectmen is talking about that tonight. Hopefully I'll get the green light to post that. It hasn't been posted yet. They were considering having like a director of community affairs or something like that, but then ultimately their decision, I think tonight, will be to just move forward with a straightforward replacement. And then in terms of changes to the bylaw for fiscal 26, I'm anticipating 4 positions asking for a reclassification. I'm anticipating 2 new positions. And the director of Parks and Recs has already said that they're putting together the annual rate recommendation for the seasonal people. Yep. Annual town meeting is May 3rd. So I'm not sure if that changes anything with the dates.
No, that's what I use.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the election is May 17th.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Have we gotten any, or have you gotten any requests for departments for reclass for town meeting?
This time well, I haven't
Those are
physically gotten them because
Right.
they're still working on them, but that's what I'm saying. I think
That's where the 4 and 2
Yeah.
are coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, the 2 I can tell you are one of them is going to be the treasure collector, and then even just for safety to make sure, we probably will put through a DPW director. You just won't have an answer on that because that committee is getting together and figuring out if that's the recommendation they want to make.
Okay. Okay, review, next item is review recommendations and handout for fall town meeting. Did Lorraine get a copy of that?
No, this is just what.
Okay,
he
so
put in the
Lorraine, this is the article, that's all it is our article for wage and personnel. It's on page 16 of the warrant. So if you go to the town website, you can pull the town warrant down and you'll see our article there. It's very short if you'd like me to read it. Just nod, yes or no.
Sorry, we reviewed it at the last meeting
Yep.
and
Yes.
didn't we had agreed in content?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It was all set.
It was all set.
So
This is
nothing
just
has
the final.
changed?
Nothing's changed.
All right, then I'll print it out, but if nothing has changed, then I'm comfortable with the last meeting's resolution.
Yep, okay.
Yes, Keith just put it into the warrant, but he didn't include Schedule A, but he put in the description of what we were doing.
Okay,
All right.
yes, thank you.
Yep. The next item on here was discuss response regarding residency requirement for wage and personnel board members. We got kind of a response when we discussed it, but Yeah,
So nothing further? Official?
nothing further that.
I
we
can't
can-
find anything, that's the answer, right?
It's like the answer was, well, there's nothing in there, but it's been the way it's been, and we're gonna continue to do it that way.
Okay.
So that's just the way I guess we're gonna have to handle it. Any mail?
No mail. Oh, no,
Okay.
no, Tina's about. the
Tina,
public
yep.
works.
Yes.
Okay, so
Excuse me,
Lorraine, did you see the note from Tina regarding it was on November the 6th? It was regarding the recommendation to the BOS about
Yes.
public works, okay. So,
Right, so we're just not sure when they're gonna make their recommendation one way or another. And so, what Keith is requesting is if we can have an extension on the deadline, so that if we have to submit something after they decide, because we probably won't know in time to develop it all before the December 23rd.
yeah, Lorraine, do you have any issue with extending the deadline?
I have a
Pass.
couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long have, according to the email, the committee was formed to assess and make recommendations? How long have they been working on that?
They just started?
Yeah, they just
It
started.
was like, I think, 2 selectmen meetings ago,
Right,
Okay,
so
All
2
right.
weeks ago.
so at what point will wage and personnel be approached? To do the formation of the potential change in the department structure, and how long are they asking the board, wage and personnel, to delay past the
So-
December 23rd? Is there a
Right.
drop dead date?
so I think in my email, I wrote the February meeting of wage and personnel, which I don't know what the date is offhand, but
Yeah, it just
Um,
says February.
yeah,
So in other words, would we be willing to accept all the information at the February wage and personnel meeting
right.
for a May 3rd town meeting?
Uh, I'm concerned about the last time we had some kind of a massive renewal or review. It came in like 48 hours beforehand,
I
so,
totally understand, and I have some questions as well.
okay.
So my questions are that I'm assuming, I have no desire to just add another level of management on top of our town structure.
No,
So I want to see the wage listing change. So because we don't necessarily need someone who's in charge of highway at the level they're at if we have a DPW director.
What do you mean the wage list?
In other words, if they're at, say, a grade 8 or grade 9, why can't we move them to a grade 7? Leave them where they are,
Who's them? Which position?
the positions that would answer to DPW.
Okay.
I want to see those grades get reduced going forward, leaving the people where they are,
Mhm.
so that instead of just adding another level of management into this whole structure that's been created as a result of the wage and personnel study. I have no desire to, vote for it that way. I'd like the point I'm making is, it's not just finding creating the position of DPW director. It's the rock in the pond, and those waves are gonna touch all the other positions, and all those other positions, in my opinion, have to be changed. So, I think it's a little more encompassing than I think what they realize. Because, and I don't think I'm asking for a lot, because when we did the wage and compensation study, the couple of things we talked about was getting better people, because we're increasing, with hopefully lowering our head count, and not affecting services. So, I think that's the challenge. So if we're gonna add another person, and by the way, this is very consistent with what we did with the senior center. Because I remember when we talked about an assistant at the senior center, I said, I don't have a problem with it. You've justified the position, but tell me how we're going to adjust some of these other positions, so that we don't have to add another third person.
Sure.
So, I think the same thing has to be done for this, if we're going to move, and I don't know the right wherewithal, whether it's right to go that way or not, to the town, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a little more to it than just, we're appointing a DPW director. And I think that, it would take us a little time to go and readjust those positions. So that's why I'm a little concerned with the February.
Okay.
So, because I don't know what I don't know. That's my feeling on it, Lorraine. I don't know if you
Yeah.
agree or disagree.
In my mind, when you're talking about creating a new, and this is new, a new department essentially, it can't be pushed through. It really can't. And like Jim is saying, there are ripples to everything. I would like to have an understanding of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and where they're getting their data from. If we're being asked to support something, then I want to see as much as we can, as soon as we can.
Mhm.
And I think it would be a smart move to make, to have a somewhat of a collaboration, an understanding. I don't want to get caught like the last time.
I agree.
Understand. Yeah.
I also think part of the reason that I'm a little concerned with the February is because, the March FinCom meeting, the 1st of March will be to finalize the budget
Mhm.
for their recommendation. Then the selectmen will vote the budget towards the end of March. So, if we're bumping up against FinCom to make some decisions, then whatever decision we make is gonna determine how they're gonna continue to build the budget going forward. And from what I've read and watched in the meetings on the budgets, and I know that's really not our bailiwick, and I'm trying to stay in our lane, but
Yeah,
I can see problems that we're gonna be up against the deadline. So I'll be totally honest with you, I'd love to see it in our hands by the end of January,
Mhm.
by our January meeting. You agree? Okay, so that's what I'd like to see, so, you're on mute.
there we are. I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. In fact, I was just thinking that, perhaps, and the thing is, we also have always been very careful about extending deadlines.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
However, the size of the change that they're trying to execute, it's not just a simple reclass kind of a thing. It's a little bit bigger than a bread box.
A little more convoluted.
A little complicated too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I have no problem because of the nature of the complications. I have no problem waiting until January, but February I think is too far. If they don't have a good handle on it by January, then maybe it's not the right time to make that change.
So for all intents and purposes, we're in December. And so, if they decide to go in the movement, if the board of selectmen decide, I don't know what the recommendation would be, but if they decide to go with DPW and we need a head of DPW, where I know we won't make January, but is it something where a fall town meeting, it could be added perhaps
The next fall coming?
for this upcoming fall, not next week, but right.
Right,
yeah,
yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say, for
yeah,
next
yeah.
year.
Fall
Yeah.
2025, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because again, we're rubbing, again, and we've talked about this before, when new positions get created, to have to wait a year, it just kind of puts the whole.
No,
town
I
on hold,
totally get it.
So just a few things, and again, I haven't been involved in any of the votes or how they want to do it or anything. So if I'm hearing you right, Jim, what we're looking at, what my understanding is of what this DPW would be, it would be highway, water, wastewater facilities. And right now, the directors of all those departments, even though they're called directors, all of them, we're looking at grades 11, 12, and 13. We have 15 grades. So, if you're saying whatever the numbers come out to be in this, if the position ends up in grade 14, which right now is where the two chiefs are, would you still want to change those grades?
Again, what little I know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
My initial reaction would be, yes, I would, and what I would like to do is equalize them.
Mhm.
Because typically from those positions will become your next DPW director.
Possibly, yeah.
So if you have one that's higher than the other guy, I just don't think that's where I thought this was gonna have some issues. You know, if you got a guy who's in grade 10 up again, he'll never beat the guy in grade 12.
Sure.
Okay, and this 10 is the progression that 10 then becomes, let's say 12 is water, becomes the water guy. Well, he has to go get a whole new education and assertion of licenses in order to do that. That's huge. And I don't know if that person would have enough time to do that. If that's the person, you understand what I'm saying? If it's the highway guy, if it's a DPW guy, if it's not DPW, the facilities guy, and then you've got water. I think you're gonna have, you've got to equalize them a little bit. In order to turn around and make it so that you don't want everyone in your supposed candidates for DPW director coming from water. If water is the highest one.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
I'd like to open it up a little.
I would venture to say that anyone that becomes the director isn't working for the town today.
Oh, this director, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the next director down the road or the
Right.
one after that. No, I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying that the director today
Yeah,
is
yeah.
coming from those, but I'm saying that if you step back and take a 20-foot view of the whole grade and step package, I think honestly what I'm saying makes a little sense
Mhm.
from the standpoint of equity and what the town's trying to achieve. And I think that I don't know if a DPW director is the right answer.
Right.
I just don't know enough about it, okay? But I do think that what little I do know and what I do understand about it is that I see the DPW director, like you said, the level of the chief, so the level of, say, our former assistant town administrator. In that
Still
level,
isn't even as high as the chiefs.
okay, but in that level,
Mhm.
okay, is where I see that, because there's so much of the assets of the town are under his direction.
So that would be the current grade 13, which 2 of the directors of the 4 departments are already in.
Mhm. And again, I'm just making
No,
it,
no, I know.
it's
I
a
get what you're saying.
conversation,
Yeah,
okay? That's all I'm saying, and but I do believe that this director of DPW is not going to be just a slot
mhm,
in a position without affecting some other positions. And I don't, I think part of the problem with the wage and compensation study was, here, make it work.
mhm.
Which we, our collective we, you and and the board, we did do a good job making it work.
Mhm.
But we've also seen some problems come down the pipe, some issues that pop up. And I'm just trying to say, okay, what issue could come from this?
Sure.
And is there a way to maybe, I'm giving you feedback to go back to your
Yep,
board with.
yep.
Okay, and so is Lorraine.
Yeah,
So,
no, I get it.
when I saw your note, I just started to think about it from that standpoint, and I said, I don't think it's as easy as just creating a position and slotting it in. I think
Right.
because it affects so many other positions, that there should be some time taken for it. So our feedback is if we could get it in January, you'll get a better product from us.
Mhm.
Question,
Yep,
what's the name of this committee?
What committee?
the DPW.
The committee that has been formed to assess and make a recommendation to the board?
I have no idea. I'm not involved in it.
Okay,
So I
Okay,
don't
I didn't think you were on it.
No. No.
No, it was done at the select board meeting, I'm gonna say 2 meetings ago.
Uh-huh.
And it included, if I remember correctly, a member from the select board, a member from the finance committee, the town administrator,
I think the fire chief.
and I think the fire chief,
And
and one layperson.
I don't know about that, but the, one, if not all of the commissioners from, water and wastewater as well.
Oh, I think it's 1 or 2 from water and one or 2 from wastewater.
Well, they only had 3 to begin with.
It's not each board.
Uh,
It wasn't the board, each board being, but it was just 1 representative or 2 representatives at the most.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think if it's 2, that's,
Okay, so
There's
it's a
3 to
rep,
begin
it's a
with,
rep from
right.
water, a rep from sewer, the police chief, or rather the fire chief, the town administrator, and a member of the select board. And for some reason, I thought a member of the finance committee, but I could be wrong.
that I don't know, but I know when a resident had made the recommendation when, the highway incumbent retired or announced their retirement, they had recommended someone from the town, or a couple people from the town. I don't know if that made the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to the question, Lorraine. I just give you that little feedback that I had.
Okay, no, that's okay. I assume when they meet, it's a public meeting?
I would think so.
I would hope so.
Okay. Thank you. That's all. I'm just trying to get some information from them
Yeah.
about what process they're using. Cause it's important.
Yeah, I think their charge is just to decide whether the town is better off as a Department of Public Works or better off in the current state.
Right.
I don't think their charge is to hire a director. I think then that'll go to
Correct.
us.
Right.
So, but if they decide to go with a DPW, then all I'm saying, that's fine, but we'll need a little bit of time to take their feedback. Plus the work we have to do to see what this person,
Yeah.
where this person falls. And then,
Yes.
I would then like a little time to give feedback back to them and say,
Yep.
here's some of the issues we see. you
Right.
know. Do you want to change your recommendation or modify? So, that's how I think it ought to work, and if they think that it won't happen, you have an interim director in highway.
Yep.
You're good for the time being.
Yep.
Put it to fall.
Yep.
If you have to.
Yep.
You
There
know,
goes that part to begin with.
yeah, I just think it would be better to have it done before, February. So that it can go to finance, so that any adjustment to the budget can be made,
Mhm.
and all the parties involved can, have input into that, so. That's just, again, my feelings on it. Any other questions? Lorraine?
Agreed.
You mute.
Sorry. Oh, my Lord. Hey, at least I'm not hacking and coughing all over.
No, you're doing good. I applaud you for being here.
Yeah. No, I have absolutely no questions. I am curious though as to how they're making the recommendation. I'm curious as to the data they're using to make that recommendation. So I'll have to make a point of finding out an answer.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'll do a little research on it too. I don't know what the advantage would be to the town, versus not, so, and I'll just do it because I'm just interested.
Yeah, and I don't want to go digging into the weeds.
Yeah.
But I just need to understand what is the process.
Mhm.
And is their recommendation based on this or that?
Right,
Because ultimately they're gonna make a recommendation. So what did they use to create the recommendation?
understood.
All right, thank you.
Yep, did you get a chance to look at the minutes from October the 1st?
Yep, fine, I'm
Okay.
all ready to approve.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes. For
So
October.
moved.
So moved, I'll second it. I'll call the roll, Lorraine.
Yes.
Jim, yes. Okay, the agenda for December the 16th, anything that you got that you think we ought to, Tina?
Nothing that comes to the top of my head.
Okay, Jennifer?
No, I'll have, depending on what happens at the special town meeting, if everything gets voted,
Yeah.
I'll do a new draft of the bylaw.
Mhm.
And I think I put on the agenda review any requests received.
Okay, and then,
But we'll be meeting before the deadline.
right. So the next meeting that we have, Lorraine, is December the 16th. I don't see us needing to change that for any reason. And we'll leave it on the calendar, and I guess it'll all depend on what happens at town meeting, and, we'll go from there, so.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else for the good of the group, Lorraine?
No, actually, everything is fine. Yeah, no, everything is good.
Okay, anything, Keith? No, I'll take a motion to call an end to the wage and personnel meeting at 6:28 PM
Oh, wait,
on,
can I just ask a
Ah.
question?
sure,
If we need to change the bylaw, do you think you can wait until December 16th? Or should we meet earlier?
What do you mean?
no,
we have to
I think
change
we
the
could
bylaw?
wait.
I'll have to change if everything gets voted.
Voted in, we
at
have
the
to,
Special town meeting.
Right, you
on
just have to
Wednesday.
redo the bylaw,
Right.
what you mean, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
but it needs to go to
But
the
you-
town clerk's
yeah, yeah.
office.
but it doesn't need to go to the town clerk's office to be official.
I don't think so.
Town meeting makes it official.
Right,
Yeah.
but then the town, they put it all together for me.
Right, but what I'm saying though is, it's not gonna stop her from
Oh,
hiring,
no,
right.
no.
doing your thing,
No.
so I don't think you need to move it ahead.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
mean, Lorraine, do you think we need to move it ahead? From December the 16th?
No, I
No, I
don't think.
don't
so.
think.
I mean,
Okay,
everything everything we prepared is fine.
yep,
We have a very short, article.
yep,
Unless something outrageous happens.
right. So it's just us basically at this point reviewing the bylaw on December 16th, finalizing it and
Yeah,
sending
and
it.
it's just
to the
schedule
clerk.
A.
Right.
Schedule A.
Right,
Right.
all right, so, nothing else, then I will take a motion to end the wage and personnel meeting at 6:29 on November the 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Yay.
Okay, Lorraine, vote,
Yes.
Jim, yes.